So, when I wrote the book, it was after interviewing you. And one of the first things that you mentioned to me was about your career. And you described it as being on this selfish rocket ship in your own way. And let's revisit that. Thinking back on that, what did you really mean by that?
First off, Leo, I just wanted to say that you have a chance to look at Ben Hogan in my background. I have a chance to look at the buffalo behind your head. So there's some differences in terms of where we live. Okay.
There's Tiger Woods, Arnold Palmer over here.
I only see that buffalo.
Nicholas. We
that
got them covered
coming
as well.
You got those buffaloes right behind you, man. The Buffalo Bills. I know how much you love them. Yeah, the selfish rocket ship. I know we were actually at the Country Club of Buffalo, and we were really talking about a lot of things at that particular juncture of the sabbatical project. And I think many executives, and certainly we had I think a sports background that drove a certain competitiveness in us, and it transfers from there to then you go off into the business world, and all of a sudden you're around really smart people, but your competitive drive kicks in, and oftentimes you become singular focused on achievement or success, and everybody's got a different definition of that. And for me personally, I think it's easier to see today versus it was back at that moment in time. And I had a couple of people that saved me even back then to make me alter my course a little bit. But I was selfish, and I was focused singularly on making my career be as good as I thought it could possibly be. And under the banner of I'm providing for my family, I'm taking care of my kids, I'm giving them what's best. There's a lot of things that it goes under the banner of, but the truth is it was a selfish competitive drive to be successful and ultimately ignore a lot of other things that were going on around me, a lot of things. And but all of a sudden life changes and things happen and it grabs you. So for me, that was I thought of that right away. I was on a rocket ship. I mean, I fueled it up. I put the fuel in the rocket, like Elon Musk. I mean, I'm going up, man, and I didn't care. I was going straight up, and I wasn't going to take a detour. I was going that direction, and I was going to get there as fast as I possibly could. And so, what was that? Well, I was making partner. What was that? Well, that was going from Syracuse to Philadelphia to New York. What was that? It was watching the integration of Coopers and Lybrand and Price Waterhouse, and then being involved with that. Ultimately, being involved with that from a human resource strategy perspective. And all the time, not taking the time to really understand other things around me. As you put it, gaining some perspective. And I remember this one conversation really well. It was a good friend of mine who I'm going to actually see tomorrow. And he was a partner from PwC, went on to have a really great career with Zurich Insurance as well. And he said, Bob, he said, have you ever gotten involved with St. Bonaventure University or our school, Leo? And no, not really. I said, I don't have the time. He goes, that's interesting. You don't have the time. He said, what if I do this? What if I buy a ticket for you to go to our black tie event in New York? And why don't you just come into the event and get reconnected? All right, I'll do that. Reluctantly, I did. And then he tried to reach out to me again and say, I'd like to get you involved. And I said, I don't have the time. I'm on a rocket ship. I didn't say that, but that's the truth. I mean, I was on a rocket ship. I was saddled in, ready to go. And he goes, he said, Bob, you have to realize a couple things in life. There's a hell of a lot more than PwC and a hell of a lot more people out there that need your time and care than you probably could realize. And you need to wake up pretty soon to figure that out before it's too late. And, I asked myself, why was that? Why did he come and say that? And at that point, it began to be a bit of an evolution, but it took a long time and a lot of other events that made me realize and give me some perspective. And I think your word perspective is really important word in the wheel we lose perspective very easily, very, very easily. And
Yeah.
boy, whatever it takes, whether it's health, whether it's, children, whether it's, something that happens in our job, something that happens in our life that lets us gain some perspective. I hope for many, it's not, bad things, that it's actually something that can be positive. I think your program, Sabbatical Project, is a way to do that for people.